guys, Howard here with a little drop D hybrid picking fingerstyle blues all in one go, okay? I'm doing this on my telly, but you can play it on acoustic and it's equally as fun and cool to play. In fact, I was going to include this in my acoustic series and upload it to my lessons store, but I thought, what the heck, since I'm playing it on my telly for fun, I might as well make it for free for everybody, okay? So this is kind of an interesting thing to do because you're really just keeping these solid eighth notes with your pick while you play with the finger around it, okay? So the first thing we want to do is get into a drop D tuning. So you want to lower the sixth string all the way down a full step to D. So as I said, you're keeping this solid eighth note feel with your pick, thumping. I've got a little bit of muting going on back here. And then we're using our fingers. I just use one actually. I just use my second finger, but you can employ more if you feel more comfortable with that. But the idea is to keep that eighth note feel going with the pick and then use your fingers to play the blues phrases around it. And this one is a little bit easier maybe than some other ones could be because most of what you're playing is happening alongside those eighth notes, but there is little bits that happen in between, okay? So the first phrase is played like this. Okay, so again, we've got that solid eighth note feel, and I'll just slow it down. Again, I'm using my second finger, but you can employ more fingers if you feel more comfortable with that, right? So let me play that first phrase nice and slow. So you can see I've got a little bluesy bend going there. And then the D note, the seventh fret on the G string, is the one note that's played in between what's happening with your pick. And then we come back and play it again. You can see right there in the performance as well that I switched to my pinky. That's so I can sustain that note as much as I can while I walk into the G7 chord. You don't have to sustain the note. It sounds fine any way you play it. You can hear that sounds fine, but I just like the way it sustains through those walking lines. A little bit of that sounds nice, right? So you can see the walk up was pretty simple. And what we're forming is a G7 chord, but we have to form it like that, okay? You can just view the tab really to see exactly what I'm playing, but I am sort of barring. I've got the fifth fret on the top string, and you can bar the A string as well, but maybe just bar the D, the G, and the B. And then my second finger is on the fourth fret on the G string, and then I'm walking across the B string, 6, 5, 3. So you can see the rhythm is basically the same, but you've got a couple of those notes that fall in between what the pick is playing. Got that second one falling in between, and then the G string and the D string. So let me play that one again, nice and slow. And then we are back to walking up to the A7 chord. It's the same walk, but it's from 5 to 6 to 7. And you don't have to worry about changing your fingering because you don't have to reach so far. So that note on the 7th fret on the G string will stay sustained. Now that's exactly what we did on the G7 before, but now we're just doing it on the A7. Move it back to G7. do this walk. You can use your pick for this actually. Just using alternate strokes, but you do have to skip 2 strings, right? So if you want to use your finger, that's probably a little bit better way to go. You can just get to the note faster, right? And then we've got a B flat 7 to an A7. And then we walk up. You can see that on the tab, open A string, 3rd fret, 4, and then we're into. Okay, so that's a lot of fun to play. I attacked the first one with my pick instead of using my fingers because the strings are so close together, but again, whatever works for you is the best way to go. So let me play that nice and slow. That's the whole first phrase, and you can see there's just one pull-off that happens between the pick strokes, okay? So the second time we walk up, the first time we did the, but this time we walk up. All right, and so we're walking into that G chord again. So what I'm doing here is I'm barring across the 3 top strings, 6, 5, and 4, and the only finger that's going to be moving, or the only string that's going to be moving around is the A string. Making that boogie pattern, right? And that's kind of a chuggy little boogie pattern. So let me explain that. I'm muting back here a little bit, right? And you can see I'm doing predominantly downstrokes, except for that one upstroke, which really brings in the D string. Maybe it's 2 upstrokes, right? Right, 2 upstrokes. 2 upstrokes, Howard. And you simply play that twice. Let me do that nice and slow. And then we head right back to the main theme. Walking up to the A7 chord again and playing the exact same thing we did before. Back to G7. And this time the turnaround is slightly different. So I'm just using my pick for that one, just alternate strokes. Down, up, down, down, up, down again. And then it's a D sharp 9 or E flat 9, whichever you prefer, to a D9. So there it is, a little drop D hybrid / fingerstyle blues, right? It's really fun stuff to do, and if you've never done it before, just slow it way down, make sure you've got a good groove going. And like I said, this one's relatively easy compared to others because a lot of it is happening simultaneously with the pick strokes, except for those few things in between. And once you get those things down, then you can really go crazy with this stuff. You can do a lot of stuff in between the picked notes, okay? So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy it. All the best to everyone as always. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and thanks for all the wonderful comments. We'll see you guys real soon.